So you were asking me about how people make millions in a sales funnel?
Yeah.
So I took notes because I wanted to talk to you about it today.
Okay.
Because part of the problem when I got started of sales funnels, I used to copy everyone's funnel, like funnel hack everyone and not make any money. I really started to doubt the whole digital marketing industry.
Uh-huh.
And there was some subtle twist that I figured out. So I'm gonna teach it to you.
Okay, cool.
Ready? We're live?
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do this. Hey guys, Vince Reed here. Hope you're having a great day. Episode 1, More Leads, Faster Sales. And today we are talking about 6 figures per month funnels. Okay, you ever seen those funnels? People are like, I made $300,000 in a single month. We're gonna talk about how that happens, why that happens, and more. So this is a new format for my channel, and our focus is for more established, high-level entrepreneurs. I think a lot of the videos you see on YouTube specifically about digital marketing, lead generation, pay-per-click advertising, we're gonna be covering all those topics. And I think a lot of the videos you see, they're very surface level. You can get a lot of information, but they leave you kind of like, searching in between the lines to figure out how to actually execute. So I wanted to create something that was definitely for, the high-level marketer, business owner, the person that's looking to really scale, to 7 figures and beyond. So that's how I'm approaching this information that you'll soon see here. So in terms of 6 figures per month funnels, if you are a person that you're making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, a month in your business, okay, we're going to show you how to get that to 6 figures a month on this episode. All right, so you are going to hear me talk about a lot of terms and topics in the episode. I just kind of go running wild with terms and different things because I'm assuming I'm talking to someone that already kind of understands these topics. But let me give you guys a couple of the things that we do talk about in this episode. So here are some of the topics, kind of like, if I leave out any, let me know, but let me go with what I remember we discussed. So in terms of funnels, we talk about book funnels a lot. And then I think there's a segment where we get into free plus shipping offers. So a book funnel is basically a page that marketers drive traffic to that promotes a book. It's a great kind of starter product to get your feet in the door and attract the right client. And a lot of marketers use that as almost like a tripwire. So they'll offer like a free plus shipping offer. So the person basically pays for shipping. You're able to get actually a purchase, which is much more valuable than just an opt-in subscriber. You're getting a buyer. So we talk about book funnels. We obviously talk about what I call a brick wall funnel, but it's just an opt-in page funnel. An opt-in page, we call it a brick wall funnel. It's just a one-page website that essentially asks a person to put their name and email into the form to get to the next step. You see this typically in front of webinar or VSL funnels, which we talk about as well. And a webinar or VSL funnel is basically a video on the other side of the brick wall page. So we talk about webinar and VSL funnels. We also talk about, I believe, low ticket buy now funnels. So again, low ticket buy now funnels are essentially where you send a person to a page just directly to buy. So they can just buy the product, right then and there. A lot of times, specifically today, you see the price point under $100. And again, that's to get the purchase and monetize your advertising. Which leads me to kind of a separate thing that we talk about. I'll just put it over here. We talk a lot about margins. And margin is something that's really important to you making 6 figures a month. So for example, if you sell a product that's $50 and it costs you $100 to essentially get that $50 client, okay, there's no margin there. You're losing $50, right? So you talk a lot about margin. It's just the gap between what you pay to acquire that customer and then what you earn on that sale. We talk about challenge funnels. All right, challenge funnels are really popular now, and there's a few ways that you can do them. Some people send people to a page. It's almost like a buy now funnel where they can just purchase the challenge right then and there. And they'll say, hey, come to this 5-day challenge. It's $297, and you just buy it right there, and then you get an email, and you end up, over, let's say, a 5-day period, going to a live Zoom type presentation. Another way you can do it is send someone to like an opt-in registration page. Then they go to a webinar, and then on that webinar, you actually sell the challenge, and then from the challenge, you have a high ticket offer. So we talk a lot about that. We talk a lot about funnel hacking. is really a popular term that you hear a lot today. And it's essentially where you go and you see someone else's funnel, what's forward facing, and you just kind of try to copy it and duplicate it. And we explain why a lot of times that does not work. Oh, really, really important. We talk about the Gekko Effect. One of my favorite things, I'll put it over here. So if you ever saw the movie Wall Street, there was a guy named Gordon Gekko, and he made billions of dollars by essentially taking information that was not available to the public and using that to make money. We get a lot of information as advertisers, right? So we know, why a person might opt in to become a lead. We know what they saw before they got to your page. This is all valuable information that that gives you an advantage. So the Gekko method is really thinking how Gordon Gekko would think with a little bit of information that can make him billions, and leveraging the information that you have within your funnel or your process to essentially generate more sales. So for example, if you opted into my webinar and you're a person that watched my presentation, I would know that you want more leads and faster sales by you simply opting into my specific type of funnel. All right, so with that being said, we're excited. This is episode 1. We're going to do our best to go deep into each and every topic. We want this to be the place where, if you're making a lot of money in your business, you can come here to get, a deeper level of insight to really take you to that next level. And we want your support. We ask for your support. Only if you get value in terms of essentially you feel that watching this particular show is worth more than the time you spent watching it. And to do that, we ask you to subscribe and hit that like button, and we're going to do our best to over-deliver. And with that being said, enjoy episode 1 of More Leads, Faster Sales. Enjoy. All right, so I got my notes, and I want to make sure that you know how to build a 6-figure per month funnel.
Okay, that's the topic for today.
That's the objective today.
Okay, cool.
We talk about this all the time because for me, it was so frustrating. Like, watching all these people make money online, I got into the space, and people were saying these numbers that seemed unreal. Making $100,000 or $200,000, or like my mentor, $300,000-$400,000 a month. Sitting in his living room.
What were you doing in the beginning?
So I was in real estate, and then I basically fell into digital marketing, learned lead generation, and lead generation for me, it meant so much because I bought leads. I had a mortgage company, so I would buy leads.
Okay.
And those leads, I literally would pay $50 per lead.
So you're kind of familiar with that,
right?
In terms of
when I got into digital marketing, I got in the direct sales industry, and it was basically people in the home business space. So there was like a lot of MLM people and what was then called direct sales. It still is, where you're selling like high ticket offers. They would teach you to go talk to friends and family and have these hotel meetings. Right. So my mentor would target those individuals. And basically with this message, I'll teach you how to generate your own leads so you don't have to go bug your friends and family.
Okay.
And that made a lot of sense to me because I was in this new space. I'd got out of the real estate industry, and now I'm in this new industry, in direct sales, and I don't want to go run to my family and be like, hey, try this thing.
Yeah, you wanted to apply digital marketing to
and
that.
then when he was saying I generate my own leads, and I started really figuring out how he did it, and the way I figured it out was because I became a lead. I was searching how to make money online, landed on a landing page, a brick wall page, and opted in. And I'm like, I just became a lead. So it's like I did it, I experienced it, and then I put in 2 to 2 together. I'm like, man, this is what people were doing in terms of the leads I was buying from a mortgage company. So when I got started, I had this idea that I was going to take what I was doing in mortgage and apply it to digital marketing. So I was going to do these big direct mail campaigns, which will work, by the way, if you use the process, which I'm going to teach you right now. Okay. Because, traffic is just a piece of the sales funnel process. All right. So there's all types of funnels. So what are some of the funnels that you would say you're aware of?
Like book funnels.
And what would happen in a book funnel? Like walk me through a book funnel.
So they would drive traffic to like an opt-in page, right? And then they would opt in and they would get like a book.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, but like how would the pricing structure typically be?
Usually it's like a low ticket.
Yeah, so typically it's a free plus shipping offer.
Okay, free plus shipping.
Right? So you say, hey, you can get this book. All you have to do is pay for shipping. Right? And at that point, that triggers all of the upsells and cross sales of the funnel process. Okay. Right? So there's book funnels, there's quiz funnels where they ask you a series of questions that lead you to a process. Obviously, there's a brick wall funnel. They opt in. Typically, you land on a webinar or VSL, and then you land on either an order page or an application page. Right. You've got, low ticket funnels now, which are really popular, where people are driving traffic right to the offer, right? So that might be a video, and they can just buy right there, and they're going for purchases. You've got obviously your webinar VSL funnel, which is kind of I put in with the brick wall funnel.
Yeah.
Obviously the challenge funnel, which is really popular.
Mm-hmm.
So when you just mentioned a book funnel, like what's your idea of like a challenge funnel in your mind? Like how does that work?
So like you would drive traffic to like an opt-in page, and they would opt in or register for.
Let me see that right there. Let's draw it out. Okay, so you've got the opt-in page, right?
Yeah.
This is the challenge funnel, right?
Right.
So you're saying they opt in. Maybe there's a video there.
Yeah.
Okay, they opt in, and then what happens?
And then they would go register.
So this would be the registration page, right?
Yeah, that would be the registration page.
Okay.
For a
They
webinar.
go to the webinar.
Right.
Okay. Then what happens?
And then from there, then they would purchase like a ticket to, like, let's say it's like a 5-day challenge. And then over the series of 5 days, they'll be shown training, whether it's like live. Is it usually like live training?
Yeah. Well, some people can automate them now.
Okay.
Okay.
And then after that, at the end, then they would be sold
And they buy at
into,
the end.
yeah, like a higher ticket.
Buy a high ticket at the end. Okay. Yeah, so that's how you perceive a challenge funnel, right?
Yeah.
So they opt in here, or they opt in and they
Like
go
register,
to the webinar, then they're sold a ticket to the challenge, right? Some people just eliminate these two altogether, and then they just have a page where they just sell the challenge.
Oh.
And it's kind of turning into like almost like a offer funnel.
Okay.
Where they're just selling it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that is how I would have looked at a funnel in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many people do you think try that and actually make 6 figures a month? If you had 10 people that did what you just saw, what we just wrote, how many of those people do you think would make 6 figures a month?
Maybe like 7 out of 10.
Try 0.
Wait, 0?
So if you did that right now, that's good odds.
Uh-huh.
So if you did that right now,
Yeah.
I want you to go do a funnel, a challenge funnel. You're going to be one of the 7?
I guess I'll be making 0 then.
What makes you think it'd be 7 out of 10?
Well, just because of the process.
Okay, but think about it. Let's say you are the master behind everything people are seeing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, head of production here at EBOOV, right? If you wanted to create a challenge teaching people how to do amazing production, right?
Yeah.
And you think you could put that together and make 6 figures a month? You know how to do that. You know how the funnel works. Right now, you could go make it. You could do it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So what would be the reason it wouldn't work?
I wouldn't be getting any sales, or people wouldn't be registering. Yeah, not getting sales, right? Because of the process.
Right. Okay. Let me explain to you why most people know that funnel. The same way you know how to invest in real estate and make millions. Do you believe people invest in real estate and make millions?
Yeah.
How come you're not doing it? You know how they're doing it. How are they doing it? How are people investing in real estate and making millions?
They can do, either rental properties. They would, refinance,
Right.
get that, buy another property, and then renovate it.
Okay, and then how else? What is another way?
They would invest in like the Airbnbs.
Okay. So how come you don't do it?
It's something that I'm not.
Yeah, but they make millions.
That's true.
Okay, so what about like the stock market? Do people make millions in the stock
Yeah.
market? So how come how do they do that? How would you make millions in the stock market?
What I have to learn.
Okay,
Right.
I mean, you'd have to buy some stock, right?
Right, I'd buy some stock
Right.
and then.
But
do
you
it.
know how to do it. You know,
Right, I know how to do it, but
Okay.
yeah, it's not
But
guaranteed.
the odds of so if you went and did that, would you make millions?
Like for the stock market, for
Yeah.
example.
Or real estate. If you went and flipped, even if you just explain how you flip,
Yeah,
you could do it.
I could do it.
Would you make millions? What's the likelihood of you, even though you know how to do it, making millions?
It'd be probably lower.
Slim to none on
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah,
right?
right.
My point is, same thing with that. You know how to do that.
So it's like not really like a plug and play.
It's not a plug and play.
Thing.
this is why I was broke for most of the time.
That's what you thought in the beginning.
Because I saw what you're seeing. And the point I'm getting at here is because the point is by the end of this, I want everybody watching this, I want you to be able to go do that and actually make 6 figures a month. And that was a painful lesson. The key is for people to recognize where they fall short.
What did you kind of like see in the beginning? Yeah.
A sales funnel is the process in which you take your leads through.
Okay.
What you just showed are the pages.
Like the bare bones.
Yeah, because in your mind, the funnel is the page, like the order page, the webinar, then they buy the ticket, and then they show up.
Like it's just
that's what you think is the process, and you think that if you do that thing, but you're missing all these components.
Okay.
Because
you
a
mean
funnel,
like in between the gaps?
There's a million things. Like that's not just the funnel. A funnel is the process in which you take your leads through. And this is the problem with funnel hacking. Like everybody just copies everybody's funnel and they go, oh, it worked or it didn't work. That's not why it worked or didn't work. A funnel works if it worked for someone else. Like meaning if somebody else made $100,000 a month doing that, it worked. Right. If you do it and it didn't make 100,000, that's because
you're doing something wrong.
Like human error. All right. So let me go through the process because it literally is a decision. Because when I failed, it was because I thought it was in my mind, the funnel was what you just saw.
Okay.
That's not the funnel.
Okay.
That's a piece of the funnel.
Right.
The funnel is the entire traffic process, how you're getting eyeballs to that. And it starts with literally what you say and what they see before they even get there. You've got the pages, which you just talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is actually a small piece.
Oh, really?
Especially today. And the reason why it's a smaller piece today is because everyone's seen it already.
Oh.
Like everybody knows the process. So
kind of used to the process.
It holds even smaller weight.
Okay.
You have the sales process. So at the end of, like we talked about, at the end of the challenge funnel in this example, right? Like how are you being sold? Oh. And it's also everything happening in between from what you saw before you hit the page to the page you saw, what was said on that video, what happened after you registered. Like, was there an upsell? Was there a downsell? Were there different packages? If you have a challenge, for example, what's being said during the breaks? Are there breakout rooms? There's all these different components that people that go try to do that don't understand. So when they go try to do that and they don't make money, they think it's the process. They think the funnel didn't work. They weren't doing the funnel.
So it's kind of like the glue that holds everything together, like between those gaps that you just see.
That's a piece. But then there's more. There's the onboarding process after they buy, right? Like, is there an upsell? Is there a downsell? Are there cross promotions going on?
Okay.
And then there's the back end process. And this is the key to the whole point of this talk with you is how do you make 6 figures a month, right?
What you do once they become a customer.
Right.
Inside.
I mean, most people don't even understand the margins to be able to make 6 figures a month.
Oh, okay.
So they're just like, let's go do a challenge funnel. This person said that you can make 6 figures a month.
Right.
That's the way to do it. And that's why you often get the question of like, does this work? Or I'll get questions, you see it all the time. Yeah. What's better to advertise on, Facebook or YouTube, right? But the real question they're asking me is like, which one will make them the most money?
Okay, yeah.
Right, they all traffic, it all works.
Yeah.
LinkedIn traffic, like
YouTube,
everything
Instagram,
works.
Facebook.
Every traffic source works.
Yeah.
Again, it's all these different components into one.
Okay.
So let's talk about like what I said. How do you actually make 6 figures? All right. So I think the biggest reason why I wanted to do this is because so many people start with digital marketing and they fail because, again, it's the decision that they made on how to interpret something, like how to define a certain action in digital marketing. So, like, for example, Alex Hormozy, he's big on content now.
Yeah.
That's his traffic strategy, right? Someone watching him would say, he doesn't pay for ads. Have you ever heard how much he spends a month on his content?
For us to put out the stuff that we put out right now across all platforms, for Layla and I, costs about $70,000 a month. That's to put out roughly 160 pieces of content a week. You're like, oh my God. I'm like, I know, it's a lot.
So you could determine in your brain, he's not paying for pay-per-click ads,
Right,
but he's paying for traffic.
Exactly.
There's no such thing as free.
Right, still paying for it.
You're paying with your time, with money. In his case, with time and money.
And he has to record it and do all that stuff. Yeah,
Right.
That makes sense.
So, you know, there are some benefits to what he's doing, maybe long term, because the content lives forever.
Yeah.
Right? But one could argue that he could put that, knowing him, which he did for years, which is how he grew his company, he could put that same money in ads and have the same effect.
That is true.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
So how you take it is he's marketing for free. He's just doing content. Let's start doing content. Or are you?
It's perceived. That's right. It's perceived as free.
Right. It's perceived as free. It's not free. It could be more. In his case, it's more expensive, in my opinion, than paid ads, because he's putting his time to create it. Which he would argue, I have a set time. I do it all day, and they cut everything up. It's still time.
Yeah.
And he's still paying those people. He's not paying maybe Facebook or Instagram for paid ads, but it's still traffic.
Yeah.
Right. So anyhow, margin. Right. You're gonna pay some way. Right. The key is to think about margins on your sale. Right. Because this kind of goes into the high ticket idea. The people that are so in love with high ticket, what they've realized is that it takes less to get the same outcome, right? So, for example, if I sell a $5,000 or $10,000 thing and I want to make 6 figures per month, okay, I can do that a lot faster than selling a $30 thing because it's going to take the same amount of effort.
Right.
Right? So the reason people struggle so much is because they want to make 100,000, and in their mind they're like, how can I do this the easiest way? And in their mind, the easiest way is the lower ticket. Right?
Okay.
Because they need something that they perceive they can afford. And typically that comes because that's usually where they are. That's where I went wrong. I was broke. So I thought I need something more affordable. Right? And then I would, like my first sale was I think my commission was like $7. It was like someone bought an annual AWeber affiliate through my affiliate link.
Okay.
Right? And I was happy.
Were you running ads?
I was running ads.
Okay.
I had leads and no one was buying for a long time. And I'll tell you what I did to generate that sale. Because it was months of me running ads, not making any money, and getting to the point where I thought these people were lying. And I just wanted to do this talk with you because I don't want people like me that, were going to quit and then end up quitting when they are like on the brink of making millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
So understanding margins, what does that mean? So that means, okay, starting off number one, recognizing that there are different types of funnels. Yes, there are book funnels. Yes, there are 3-step brick wall funnels. Yes, there are challenge funnels and quiz funnels and, order funnels.
Yeah.
Figuring out which one you want to do. They all work. They all work the same. The key to it is understanding your margins. But the thing I wish I would have learned from the beginning is understand the most important thing, which is there's 2. Your messaging and how many offers are you making, right? So once you understand your margin and you figure out your path to like get to 6 figures a month. So for example, you got a $5,000 or $10,000 product, right? So if you want to make $100,000 a month and you're selling a $5,000 product, okay, you're going to need 10 sales.
Yep.
Right? If you, is that right? 10 sales. Is my math correct on that? I wasn't good at math.
$5,000 product.
$5,000 product. If you want to make 100,000, that'd be 10 sales, right?
No.
Or 20. 20. See? You bad at math too. The person behind the camera said I was right. So my point is, once you identify how you want to make money, the key at that point is how many offers are you going to make?
What do you mean by like offers?
So, for example, let's take the AWeber product where I made $7.
Okay.
I made $7 because I pitched it at that point probably to a list of 100 people.
Right.
And I was bad at I didn't really understand offers. I didn't understand what I was doing. I kind of got lucky. But the key is, how can you make a pitch to your product and have that number grow each and every day?
How many pitches you can make every day.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Understanding your margin, right? So it's fine if you want to have a low ticket offer, right? If I want to have a low ticket offer, let's say I want to sell a $50 product, okay? And I say, I'm going to sell a $50 product, and I'm just going to break even, right? Because I'm running ads. Let's say I sell a $50 product, I spend $50.
Right.
Then you better have a back end.
Right. Exactly.
Which everyone should have a back end, by the way.
Whether it's like either monthly recurring or
you need some
it's like
kind. You might need both. You might need monthly recurring. You might need a high ticket back end.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
and this is before you even begin your process. Like people just go, oh, that guy made 6 figures. I need a book funnel.
And they just
And then they go trying to find
copy
things to
it.
sell, and they don't understand that they need an upsell. They don't understand how many sales they need. They don't know how many offers they're going to make to get to that number.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it is, I wouldn't say it's like a long day of planning out everything.
But at least have it structured.
You have to
So
know
you
that
understand.
before to
Yeah.
make 6 figures a month.
Okay.
Right? So for example, when I was asking about the stock market or real estate,
Yeah.
the reason why you would make 6 figures a month is because most likely on one deal, you're not going to be able to make 6 figures a month. You might, let's say you're wholesaling a deal, maybe you make 30,000, or if you want to make 6 figures, you just got to find a bigger deal.
Right. But plus those people that have been doing it for a long time, and they already understand
And again, the people that
the process.
dude, let's just use the real estate, for example, they'd likely get a house they can afford, which wouldn't be that much, which even if they made money, likely wouldn't give them
Right.
enough profit to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not understand. It's the same thing with this, understanding the margins of how to get to the 6 figures a month. So the people making 6 figures a month, they understand the margin. Where the person getting in is afraid, like Alex Hormoz did, to spend $60,000 on content and to push a bunch of content. So another side note, think about it this way. If you were good at content, and let's just take the video production side. Because I remember when you used to put out content, how many views do you think you would get on a video back when you were posting stuff about like videos and?
When I was doing it consistently back then, I would say probably like 1,000 views, 2,000.
Perfect. This is a great example. Let's say you got half of that.
Okay.
500 views.
500.
What Hormozi figured out was that if my video gets 500 views, how about I just put out 100 a day? Make more offers.
Okay.
You weren't thinking that. You were like, I'm going to make a content Instagram page, and I'm going to put out a video and get 500 views.
Like one video a day, but it's not
you weren't getting enough.
Not enough. Okay.
The difference of the people making 6 figures, if you ask them a month, go ask them what they're spending on ads and ask them how much traffic they're getting.
So it's kind of like that same concept in a way.
Like this is just the first part of the process. So when you're not making the 6 figures a month and you're like, that funnel didn't work. You aren't even getting enough traffic to, even if it was converting.
Not pushing out enough.
Not enough people saw it.
More offers.
And that's why it's your messaging or your offer and how many offers you are making.
Right.
And it starts with traffic, which is part of the funnel.
So when you're doing like that affiliate AWeber thing, like what was the point when you kind of realized, okay, I have to be making more offers in a way?
I'm gonna explain that. That's a great question. I was about to quit digital marketing. I was running out of money. Nobody was buying. I had spent, like, at that point, several thousands of dollars on ads, had a bunch of leads. I was able to get leads, but nobody would buy.
Okay.
People would open up my email and nobody would buy. And what I was doing, and this again is the process, which if I go back to my notes, I said,
and this was for the AWeber.
This is when I made that first AWeber
Okay.
sale. So it's the sales process.
Okay.
Right? So that's the page process. Like I wrote down, obviously, the challenge funnel. But the sales process is how you're getting them to buy, right?
Right.
Like, what are you saying? What are you doing throughout that process? The way my funnel worked was I was sending traffic to a brick wall page. They'd opt in, and I was selling affiliate products. So I was an affiliate of all these different tools I was using. Back then, I was using AWeber, which was my CRM, to email my leads. And believe it or not knowing what I was doing, my open rate was pretty good. Now, mind you, this was way back in 2008.
What was your percentage back then? You remember?
It was over 50%.
Oh,
Definitely over 50%.
Okay.
But mind you, I was very good at mirroring. A lot of my messaging was very similar to my mentor, which is another whole topic of finding the right mentor to know you're even mirroring someone you should be mirroring. Even though I was mirroring, I was still missing a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, exactly.
But I was mirroring at least the forward-facing things in terms of messaging. But I would email out like, hey, this is the tool I'm using to get leads, buy it. And it was just like an affiliate link to AWeber. And it just took you to their website to sign up.
Yeah.
Right? So for whatever reason, this particular time I made a video, and it goes back to what I teach today, which is to play show and tell. And it goes back to like when you were a kid, when you would show off different toys at school. And, here's my toy. You'd show it off in front of the class, and you would have, everyone's favorite that day.
Right.
So I just showed them how I was getting, 50% plus open rates with AWeber.
Oh, okay.
I made a demo video and someone signed up, and then I ended up making a ton of other sales
That's
from
what
that
you
little small
emailed
list.
out.
Yeah, so I emailed out this
Okay.
demo video of how I was getting high open rates to generate more sales.
Okay.
So I was playing show and tell. So my message changed to more of a demonstration of how I was actually using it to get results.
Okay.
But the key to that, we can kind of go back and forth and say it was the show and tell aspect of it. But I think it was more the teaching aspect of it, kind of like what we're talking about now. Like, at the end of the day, people want to get results. Like if people are watching this, they want to make multiple six figures.
Right.
Right. So at some point in this video, I have to get to like the point of like, how do I make six figures? So we're narrowing it down to you realizing it's not the pages.
Right.
It's the entire process. You
Messaging.
Understanding that it's the margins.
Right. Messaging
Right?
margins.
So the reason why I started making more sales, but still was not making any money, I didn't have the back end. So I was starting to sell these little $7 affiliate commission things. And, there was months where I'd make, $1,200. I started making $1,500, but nothing like what people were saying.
Yeah.
And I was getting leads. I'd get more and more leads, and my income would go up just a bit.
Okay.
And then it was because I had this belief that everybody was broke as me.
Huh.
And I had this belief that I could only sell these low because that's what people would buy.
That's what kind of kept you
But
at a level.
an example would be if someone's still watching this right now, they want to make six figures a month. And if I had a program that I said, hey, I'm going to walk you through the steps. We're going to help execute these steps properly in your business and your funnel to ensure you make six figures in your business. We're going to write your webinar. We're going to write your VSL. We're going to set up your ads. We're going to make sure all the processes in between are correct. All right. So typically for me to spend this time, it's going to take me 3-4 days to set this up with you. You're going to come to my office. We're going to do it. Right. So I'm building the value. Right. People in that little list that I had back then, right, who were looking at, making money online. Because a lot of my opt-in pages were how do you make money online?
Yeah.
They clearly want to make money online. And if I position the offer, remember I said in the beginning, it's messaging. If I position my offer the same way I just did what I just said, and I was getting them in, I was selling these, little products, and then I made this offer, and I said I was going to do it for $25,000, but you can come down for 3 days with me, and it's $10,000. And I have a list of, 200-300 people.
Yeah.
I might just get one buyer.
But it'll make up for everything.
Right? So let's say I get one buyer at that list, and then I go, okay, this works. So what do? I invest all of that money back into ads to grow my list and continue to make that offer. And then I let the margins work. I let the math work. So I know that I can close my eyes and spend the money and be confident that it would work.
So is that what you did? Was that like the process?
I didn't do that right away because I didn't know any better.
Okay. What was like the next step once you started?
So the next step was when I went to my mentor and I saw him making $300,000-$400,000 a month. And I'm like, and it was like every day, it was like 12,000, 20,000, like every day. I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
And what he did was he realized this margin game that I just shared with you. And he said, how can I position my business to where this is happening on autopilot each and every day in the tunes of thousands of people? Meaning, like I said, the key is understanding your messaging and positioning, but how many offers can you make? So he focused on if I know 10 people in this example we just said are getting that $10,000 offer and 10 people are getting it a day, how do I get 1,000 people to see that offer? What would that cost me? Now, here's the scary part. The same way it's scary to someone to say, I want to invest $60,000 into content, which would be stupid for anyone who's not good like Hermosi, right? It's the same process if I say you need to spend $1,000 a day on ads.
Oh, I see. Kind of like the same concept.
In order to get to the six figures a month, you got to get over that's the fear.
That's pretty much the only
That's it.
Okay.
If you nail everything we said, it's making more offers. And that's why our process works better. Because I know that, and I created a tool that like supercharges that entire thing.
Oh, like
making more offers.
Right, exactly.
Letting the math work for you.
Yeah.
It's really that simple to make it. If you have a good offer and you frame it right and you make more of them, you make more money. It's fear. It's fear of losing money on ads.
Okay.
And it's because they don't understand how to craft the right offers.
Maybe they spent money on ads before and they just lost it.
And also they don't believe it. So like, for example, if you go build the challenge funnel I just drew and you don't make money, you don't believe that funnel works. You can't, in your mind, believe that you failed. Because in your mind, you did what you saw.
So what kind of kept you going? Was it just continue testing?
I saw it. I literally saw how he did it, and I asked the questions you're asking. And I had to overcome the fear of spending the money. And in fact, I remember we've talked about this on old episodes of DM. I saw it was a Brendan Bouchard something. I don't know if it was an ad or something. He said, you're not marketing unless you're spending $1,000 a day. And I was spending $100 a day. I thought I was balling back then, right? And it's just math.
So what was that point when you started spending more?
I mean,
to get
it's
over
just
that
you just have to say, okay, I know that people have this problem. I know my thing is the solution.
Yeah.
I need to get it in front of more people.
So you started spending more.
I started spending more. And instantly,
then what happened?
It was an advantage. So what people don't realize is you're at a disadvantage the slower you go. Because let's just say I spend $1,000 a day and I get, let's say, 100 leads.
Yeah.
And you spend $10 a day and you get 2 leads. You're still eventually, you don't have enough data. It's too slow. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to think the thing isn't working. I can get 100 leads. Even if I don't make any money, I can craft another offer and send it out and make some sales and make my money back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
So you have to continue to.
Yeah, I mean, because
volume.
if you're doing it right and your messaging is right, you understand their problem. You know their problem. And if you're a good marketer, you understand the problem better than they understand the problem.
That's right.
That's like a huge advantage. It goes back to the Gekko Effect we talk about, like from movie Wall Street.
Wall Street, yeah.
Yeah, so Gordon Gekko, billionaire, made money because he knew what was going on before it happened.
Right.
Insider trading.
Right.
Right? In digital marketing world, we have all this information legally. Like Gordon Gekko is getting it illegally. Like if you opt into my page, like for example, that book when we used to run Internet Traffic and Leads book funnel, I know that you want to get traffic and leads.
Yeah.
Like what would Gordon Gekko do with that information? You just got a book where you're interested in internet traffic and leads. I could probably guess that you have a business. You're probably struggling. Either your lead cost too high, like you're not generating enough sales, and you need help.
Yeah.
That's a lot of information. Like, what would Gordon Gekko do with that information? Would he make billions? So think about it. I had 300-400 leads and wasn't making any money. By accident, I changed the messaging and just showed a result. Because I was like, and honestly, it came from I'm getting people to open my email, but no one's buying.
Right.
And I was doing some stuff right because, again, but I was mirroring. So I started like looking at the emails that I was getting from my mentor. So I was doing these things by accident.
Yeah.
But I was just sending them to the affiliate link to the website and no one would buy.
But the process wasn't connecting.
Right. Even though he was sending me the content and valuable information. So leading back to what we're doing now, why would we send this to our list?
You're talking about
just in general, like what we're doing now, this video.
Yeah.
This
right.
is what I was getting from my mentor.
Right.
What Joe Blow, who I opted into just to see what his funnel was, is sending me is go buy my thing.
Exactly. Like which one is going to be more influential?
Like so him, if I'm not ready to buy right now, then I just disregard that information.
Sure.
But my mentor at the time was sending me valuable content. Weekly videos. This is before content was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I showed you a video of him before, and you're like, he was way before his time.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I was just like, in my opinion, I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm keeping it to myself. But he was the GOAT, right, of market. So I learned, how to provide value without even realizing I was getting value. So he was just teaching me that process. So the reason why people don't make 6 figures is because they physically and literally can't, because they're not getting it in front of enough. They don't have the right margin product. They're not using any OTOs. They're not using any upsells. They're not doing any cross sales. They don't have a back end high ticket product. They physically don't have the margin or the business structure to even make 6 figures a month.
Okay. Because it has to have all those components.
It has to have all of that. Yeah, I mean, it's all math. Like the whole thing is math and people don't get it. They're looking at the wrong thing. Like they think because they see a video in the news feed that I need to do content, I just need to make videos. You have to make videos with the right message or you attract the wrong person. Like everything is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Right. Whether it's content, whether it's ads, it has to attract the right
even
person.
ad structure.
Yeah.
Right? So like for us, we figured out that we didn't even have to run cold conversion ads anymore. Right?
Yeah.
And it saved us a tremendous amount of money. Right. And we're getting more leads, spending less. Yeah, That's a strategic strategy. that we had to figure out. People like with that one strategy, which we'll talk about on a future ad, when we talk about ads, like these are things that why you need a mentor. So what do you see online? I bought that high ticket thing. It didn't work. I hate that guru. Because that guru taught you this system and you thought it was just the pages.
Oh, I see.
You bought the thing from the guru.
Right.
It worked.
And most of the time, probably like 99% of the time, it's because you didn't have those things set up.
Right. You didn't have the whole, you didn't have a
results.
funnel set up. You had pages set up.
Right, pages. Just bare bones.
Right.
Nothing
But in their
connecting.
brain, they did it like they were told, but they didn't.
Got it. Okay.
That's the problem, man. So now, if I ask you the question, your approach may be different. Like if I say, do you think you could build that and make 6 figures a month?
Now I'd be more confident that I would.
Be way more confident, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you're watching this, what you want to do is if you got to decide on which funnel you want to use, and you got to recognize that they all work. Okay, some better than others, in my opinion, or I shouldn't say better than others. Some are easier for you than others.
What do you like?
So let me explain that point. What I mean by that is you may not be good at video, right? So you might need to use a book funnel or a order funnel. Sell a product with copy.
Okay.
So like I think the funnel style goes to you what you feel most comfortable with. Because I see some people try to do webinar funnels and they're just not good at video. Or they just don't have a strong enough offer that's built for a webinar.
Right. Can't really like force it if that doesn't align with who you are.
Yeah. So for example, like with EBOOV, right? Like if I wanted to sell it and I didn't feel I was good on video, like I might create a show and tell training of how I make my webinar VSL scripts.
Okay, I see.
Right.
And
or just give
like
give away a template of my webinar script.
Okay.
So then like people that want to do a webinar would get that template and then on the back end I could say, hey, here's a tool that you can use to get more conversions. That would be an example of if you're not good at something, how to figure out another way to like.
Or if like they really want to use video, they don't have to show their face; they could just use their voice.
Like which is how I did it from the beginning, just slideshow, just talk over slides.
Yeah.
Right, but at the end of the day, it really it comes down to realizing what the problem is, having a clear message. You know, even what I just said, like if I wanted to sell a video tool, I would offer a tool to help them make a good video script that then would lead to tool. But what you say in the beginning has to easily flow through the end. And then you have to look at all the margins. Okay, if they buy this, this is what my margins is, how much it would cost me to acquire a customer. Well, how many people on the back end do I need to talk to offer this? What is the best offer that I can offer this client that eliminates their problem for good, that if they buy it, they actually will win. You know, and how can I charge them enough to where I'm not looking for the next client. I can put my devoted attention to them.
Right.
They pay to pay attention, and everybody wins.
And that's like part of it. Like inside, once it become a client, what you do after that.
Right. And by the way, it doesn't have to even be a back end thing. You could put content out like we're putting out right now, and say, hey, if you want to work with me, here's my offer. And if 1,000 people get in front of it, you might only need 10 sales a month to make 100,000. And go straight high ticket. I mean, that's what most of the businesses today that are selling high ticket do. But the key is the traffic they're getting to it and their messaging and how many offers they're making. It's always going to come down to that. You think you could build a 6-figure month funnel now?
Now I feel definitely more confident for sure. Knowing that there's definitely parts within those gaps that you see.
Right.
That.
Yeah, and I'll just repeat them one last time for everybody. You got the traffic process. You got the page process. You got the sales process, you have the onboarding process, and you have the back end process. The onboarding process is really key. We didn't really talk about that a lot, but after they buy, that's really the part where if you do it right, easily sets up the potential upsells.
Okay.
Right? Because you can find out more about the client, the better you make that process.
Points in contact with
the easier it is to offer them other products. And I think people have to get over the fear of selling higher ticket products or upselling their customer.
And I think part of it too, like I think you mentioned before, is like they just don't believe. Like I remember you were saying before, like when you purchase like a higher ticket, was it like a ticket for an event or
when I first hired my first mentor, I hadn't sold a high ticket until I bought a high ticket.
Right. That's what. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You won't, because you don't understand it. Like you can't see yourself, but it changed everything. For me.
Until you purchase it.
You have to understand there are people that want their problem solved now. They will pay whatever it is because it's
speed.
Yeah, they want
Yeah.
speed.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you to like deny them of that? Like if you can eliminate their problem for good, offer that to them, right? So just focus on making more offers. You know, as if we dove into those steps, if you don't clearly understand all of those steps, pay someone that does before you go building it. And then the last piece is just overcoming that fear of either what you have to spend or the time and energy and money it's going to take to produce enough content. So if you're planning on doing videos like this, pump out as much content as you can. Make one long-form video like we're making, cut them up to clips, and then if you were planning on posting 3, post 10 a day or a week. And that's where I really do relate to the whole 10x rule thing, because that had a huge mental shift for me from an ad perspective of really scaling up. Because most people, you have to understand, most people are scared. Like they're just scared, which means they're just not going to get in front of enough people. Right. Eliminate that fear, and magic happens.
Awesome.
Peace.